think it's time for a radio show.
Thanks to Jo. She's back with the Jo Show next Thursday from 11 a.m. right here.
This radio show's beginning to begin at the beginning.
Hit music now with Phil Allen on Radio 1. You are the best. Where hit music lives.
Phil Allen.
Hello, Thursday.
Across the island and around the world. This is Radio 1 with Phil Allen.
Hit music with Phil Allen. Radio 1 Mallorca.
Lululemon is testing a resale program where shoppers sell and buy gently used items. Lululemon yoga pants. Let me put this in perspective. Wearing a pair of lightly used Lululemon pants is basically like picking up a pack of lightly used Charmin.
Greetings. Welcome to the show.
And now here to entertain you,
the finest broadcaster.
My favorite show.
Showtime.
Everybody's looking for a meaning.
Kicking off the show today, that's Alex Cortino and Gemma and Little Love at Radio 1 Mallorca. Hello, this is Phil Allen for Thursday. Sunshine and showers today, highs around 18 degrees. Tonight, a cloudy evening turning clear overnight with lows down to 11 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunny intervals with highs of 19 degrees. Sunset this evening, 8:35, and on the radio, here's SWAT Cats and Tiara with Love Got You on Radio 1 Mallorca.
I've been out on Hit music with Phil Allen.
All right, gather around while I forcibly insert some knowledge into your brainus.
Radio 1 Mallorca. Pure emotion.
Son of a biscuit.
London Grammar, how does it feel at Radio 1 Mallorca? Hello there, good afternoon, this is Phil Allen, nice to be here, glad you're there, lots to get through in this hour. Coming up at 1:30, we'll have stand-up comedy with Kendra Cunningham on Dressing Well to Attract a Man. We'll have a flashback classic from the old school, and we'll open the birthday file as well and talk Amazon haircuts. Right now, the hits continue with Magical J and Mark Coppy with Love Me Better on Radio 1 Mallorca.
This is Radio 1.
Now, hotter than ever, Phil Allen.
That's No Rome, Charlie XCX and the 1975 with Spinning on Radio 1 Mallorca. We're going back in time with a Soul Train classic next.
If it's a hit,
It's here.
Radio 1.
Phil Allen.
Mallorca's best music, this is Radio 1 Mallorca. It's stand-up comedy time with Kendra Cunningham on Dressing Well to Attract a Man.
This is me a little dressed up for you guys tonight. Right now, it's my inventory. Thank you.
Kendra Cunningham, here's Becky Hill with Last Time on Radio 1 Mallorca.
Baby, now you're back again.
You're listening to Radio 1 Mallorca, and with Thursday's very latest Not Headline News, let's cross now to the Not Headline News newsroom.
This is Not Headline News. Courtney Cox will star in a horror TV show. It'll be her second horror project since Scream, third counting her marriage to David Arquette. Adam Sandler's new movie is called Spaceman. It's a satire about the iniquities of our space program. Just kidding. It's about an astronaut who farts. Lamar Odom laughed at the idea of a Kardashian curse that affects men who date the women in the family. Then he took a hit off a crack pipe and continued training for celebrity boxing against Aaron Carter. The White House launched a vaccine outreach to rural Americans. So if you're using a cinder block as furniture, Joe Biden's looking for you. And the world's first weed-scented perfume is here. It's called Eau de Post Malone. This is Not Headline News.
Phil Allen.
Thank you. Here's Gwen Stefani, Sweetie, with Slow Clap.
Radio 1 Mallorca.
Phil Allen.
You're listening to Radio 1 Mallorca. It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. On this date in 1509, Henry VIII took over from his late father, Henry VII. The bloke loved wedding cake. Rapper Machine Gun Kelly turns 29 today, obviously too young to remember the gangster or the disc jockey. Cheryl Lee, who was Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks, turns 54 today. How the years have rolled by. Ryan Stiles turns 62 today. If you want tall and lanky, he's your man. You've seen him on 2.5 Men and Whose Line Is It Anyway? Very funny guy. Peter Frampton is 71 today and no longer wants you to feel like he do. It's getting harder and harder to come alive, although most times I do feel like he do. And Jack Nicholson turns 84 today. Can't be true. Is that right, Jack?
You want answers?
Jack, I just want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
How about a high-tech haircut? The e-commerce giant Amazon opened its first salon Tuesday and said it will be a place to collaborate with the professional beauty industry and test new technologies. What could go wrong? Who's next in the trimming pod?
Welcome to the Amazon salon.
Oh, wow, a machine.
Please insert your head into the trimming pod. What kind of haircut would you like?
Well, I think just short back and...
Starting now.
What?
Please lower your head.
Ow. Ow!
Oops, sorry.
Ow!
This is my first day on the job. Was that your ear?
I don't think Mr. Lee will be too worried. And finally, let's look back now to the COVID-19 news from a year ago this very week.
This week in COVID history. It's mid-April 2020, and nobody knows what to believe.
First, there were 2.2 million who were supposed to die in the United States, and then it was 1 million, then it was 500,000. The models, folks, are just plain wrong.
Yeah, no way 500,000 Americans will die of COVID. Especially not with President Trump's new plan.
Sun, sunlight, heat. Sun, heat, heat and sun. Heat and the light, very powerful light.
What a bright idea! But how would we use this very powerful light?
Supposing you brought the light inside the body, either through the skin or in some other way. Sounds interesting.
Interesting and genius. What else?
I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute. Is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? It'd be interesting to check that.
She looks like she could use a glass of bleach right about now. The media spreads word of the president's plan. But it turns out the president was just pulling our legs.
I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you, just to see what would happen.
Classic. Had me going. Even his Fox and friends were confused.
It didn't seem like it was coming off as sarcastic.
Either way, it's important we end this mess soon, or else.
If we don't get this economy going again, that man could become president of the United States. Now that is far more terrifying than any coronavirus.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
This has been This Week in COVID History.
Thank you. Here's Daniel Freight and Horny on Radio 1 Mallorca.
What's going on, baby?
Phil Allen.
Thursday hour 2.
Across the island and around the world. This is Radio 1 with Phil Allen.
Hit music with Phil Allen. Radio 1 Mallorca.
I'm so excited, I just can't hide it.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is in heavy spin mode right now. He spent around $116,000 on mailers the day after the New York Times reported that the Justice Department was investigating him for sex trafficking and other crimes. He also paid almost $160,000 for fundraising consulting, 6 figures on a commercial disputing the allegations, and he paid $5,000 to Trump's pal Roger Stone for strategic consulting. Wow, imagine how much he would have paid if he was guilty. I mean, really.
Kicking off hour 2 on the show today, that's Sean Finn, Zelda, In Your Day with Don't Ya on Radio 1 Mallorca. Sunshine and showers this afternoon, highs around 18 degrees. Tonight, it's going to be a cloudy evening, turning clear overnight with lows down to 11 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunny intervals with highs of 19 degrees. Sunset this evening, 8:35, and the Mallorca sea surface temperature is down slightly to 15.1 degrees. Hey, just to let you know that the Radiothon is back. Richie and Aisha from The Breakfast Show will be broadcasting live for 36 hours non-stop to raise much-needed money for some amazing charities. Great Ormond Street, SOS Calvia, Santa Ponsa Food Bank, Sonis Pesas, and Yachting Gives Back. It's all taking place from 7 a.m. on Friday, May 28th, until 7 p.m. on Saturday, May 29th. And we need your help. You can sponsor an hour of the broadcast, you can buy a raffle ticket, offer a prize for auction, or offer up a raffle prize. Create a challenge for us or yourself in exchange for donations, or simply donate money or food. For more info, please email joe at radio1mallorca.com. That's J-O at radio1mallorca.com. It's coming soon. The Radiothon returns on Radio 1 Mallorca. Busy hour on the way. We'll have more stand-up round about 2:30 with Nate Bargatze on telling a trainer how he eats. We'll have an old-school flashback classic. And in the showbiz later on this afternoon, we'll hear from Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, and Stephen Colbert. Right now, the hit music continues with Mohawk and the Kid. This is Keep Moving on Radio 1 Mallorca.
Keep moving. Hit music with Phil Allen.
You know, I don't say this often, but I actually think you're quite good at this.
Radio 1 Mallorca.
Phil Allen.
Your number one hit music station. This is Radio 1 Mallorca. It's stand-up comedy time again. Here's Nate Bargatze on telling a trainer how he eats.
What I eat, that's the main problem. Our best kid's in bed. Maybe that's a problem.
Nate Bargatze. This is a song called Loved by You. It's Justin Bieber featuring Burna Boy on Radio 1 Mallorca.
I bought a castle in
You're listening to Radio 1 Mallorca, and in today's breaking perfume news, you may smoke weed, but do you want to smell like weed? Earlier this week, for Weed Day, a company released what they call the world's first weed-scented perfume, and we've got hold of the ad.
Now available at 20.
Phil Allen.
Thank you. PS1, Alex Hosking, Life Goes On.
Radio 1 Mallorca.
I spent more money last night than I had last year.
Phil Allen. Showbiz Update.
This is Radio 1 Mallorca. Here comes your Showbiz Update for Thursday. Let's start with audio from last night's Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Chris Christie, who, as you probably know, is the former governor of New Jersey, is said to be seriously considering a run for president in 2024. Well, not a run so much as a sweaty walk for president in 2024. I guess he has nothing to do. I don't know why he would think. Chris Christie, he was like the Theon Greyjoy of the 2016 campaign. You watch Game of Thrones? Came in a proud warrior, and then Trump captured him and cut his junk off and brainwashed him, made him crawl around on the floor of the Oval Office, feed him fried chicken bones to gnaw on every once in a while, and now he wants to be president. Well, you know what they say, when God closes a bridge, he opens a window. But besides Hawaii, California right now, our state, we may have the most air pollution, but we have the lowest rate of coronavirus in the country right now. For all those who say, oh, they did the same thing in Florida and Texas, and look. Anyway, the four least vaccinated states ranked by available shots compared to those who got them are Mississippi, Arkansas, Georgia, and Alabama, which, if you take the first letter from each of those states, what a happy coincidence that is. And while the big problem a month ago was a shortage of vaccinations, now we have a shortage of people who want the vaccine. A number of states have more doses now than they know what to do with. Some are even resorting to bribery. In New York yesterday, they had an event called Joints for Jabs. They gave away free joints if you got your shot. I wonder how many people got a third shot just to get that weed.
Jimmy Kimmel, now in honor of the 5-year anniversary of Prince's death, his mansion was opened up yesterday to 1,400 socially distant fans to view his ashes and all that surrounds them at Paisley Park. Zac Efron and his girlfriend of 10 months, Vanessa Valderez, have gone their separate ways. Demi Lovato says she is now California sober, meaning she only does alcohol and pot. Next up, more audio. Here's a clip from last night's The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon.
President Biden and 40 other world leaders are kicking off a big virtual climate summit. Yep, they're meeting virtually because of the pandemic. Otherwise, they would have flown 40 different private jets to a meeting about the climate. Yep, the guest list includes Vladimir Putin, Bill Gates, Pope Francis, and one very stressed out IT guy. Your Holiness, could you try closing the browser and signing back in? That's right, Vladimir Putin agreed to attend. It'll be weird when someone says, very funny torture rack background, Vlad, and he's like, right, joke, of course, yes. During the summit, Biden is expected to announce that the U.S. will cut greenhouse gas emissions at least in half by 2030. Yep, Biden plans to cut emissions by 2030, at which point it will be President Dwayne Johnson's problem. Hey, this is big. Remember that European Soccer Super League that was just announced 2 days ago? Well, listen to this.
The proposed European Super League may be over before any teams could even take the field. The league announced it was suspending current plans after the founding clubs backed out of the venture just 2 days after the initial announcement.
Wow. Only 2 days. I've seen guacamole last longer than that. Seriously, the league crumbled faster than a Nature Valley bar.
Way, oh, hey!
Yep, the Super League has been knocked out, and unlike most soccer injuries, this one's real. And get this, in June, New York City is getting a 3-story, 21,000 square foot Harry Potter store. It'll be the first time a New Yorker can whip out their wand on the subway without getting pepper sprayed.
Jimmy Fallon. Now, we expect a backlash on this one. Scientists have developed the technology where you could put product placement into old classic movies. Say, for example, sticking a certain beverage into a scene of a movie like Casablanca or The Great Escape. They say Netflix may be open to doing it as a revenue source. Talking of Netflix, they're planning to spend $17 billion on new projects. Joe Exotic says he would help Carol Baskin end the exploitation of big cats if it would get him a pardon. Carol says she doesn't trust his word and he would have to actually do the work before she'd help him get out.
Carol and Howard Baskin said that they would vow to help me get a pardon if I would support the Big Cat Safety Act. It is time for Carol and Howard to put up or shut the hell up because I'm accepting their offer. The Big Cat Safety Act, the way it's written, is not going to help anybody except Peter and Carol Baskin. So, other than that, they need to stay the hell out of the news with all their crap just to get their name in the paper. Because I just called their bluff. Listen, if I live through this, because my health is deteriorating by the day, we're going to turn this into something good.
During an interview with Glamour UK, Elizabeth Olsen explained why she deleted her social media accounts and is never going back.
My first time looking at Instagram, and I was like, this is kind of fun. Like, I think I could figure out how this is fun. And then you get more people, and then you're like, oh, now I'm not having as much fun. And now I'm second guessing everything. And then it's like, wait, why am I even trying to create a character version of myself and put it out in the world? And the whole thing just made me uncomfortable. And during the pandemic, I was like, oh, well, you know what? This just is not for me. And I just got rid of it, and I won't go back. I'm never going back to social media.
And finally, here's audio from last night's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
So far, half of American adults have received at least one shot, and among all the countries in the world, the United States is first in total vaccinations. Woo! We're number one, baby! We're number one!
Side effects of the vaccine may include spontaneous number shouting and giant foam finger.
But we've got a long way to go before we don't have to stand a long way away from each other. Currently, just over a quarter of the population is fully vaccinated, but to suppress the spread of the virus, experts say that somewhere between 70 to 85% of the country needs to be immune to the virus. 70% of Americans don't agree on anything. To get that many people to want the shot, they're going to have to introduce the new deep-fried, flavor-blasted Pfizer now in Blazing Buffalo Mouth Massacre. It's not... sounds spicy. It's not going to be easy. In the latest Axios Ipsos Hungry Hippos poll, the majority of respondents say they were already vaccinated, but of those who weren't, more than half of them said they probably weren't going to get it. And by it, I assume a grasp on reality. Though without the vaccine, another thing they may not get, old. One way to convince these anti-vaxxers, a recent poll found that 1 in 5 vaccine-hesitant Republicans said an endorsement by the former president would spur them to get immunized. That's a long shot. Old drinks with two hands isn't going to waste his endorsement power on a life-saving vaccine. He saves that for important stuff like casinos, steaks, bottled water, neckties, wine, golf courses, and accused child sex traffickers. Of course, the commander-in-chief did get vaccinated back in January, secretly, even though there was a big push inside the White House to get him to do it on camera. But his aides shot that down, saying, have you ever seen him wear a short-sleeved shirt in public? I don't think that's going to happen. So nearly half of America could be embracing the vaccines if he wasn't too vain to show a little saggy shoulder boob.
Stephen Colbert. Love this tune from Doja Cat featuring SZA. This is Kiss Me More on Radio 1 Mallorca.
Phil Allen.
I mean, what's not to love? That's it from me for today. DV and Essential Afternoons on the way next. Des here from 6 from the Maldives with Drive, and I'll see you tomorrow from 1.
Oh, my sweet darling. Oh, my dearest love.
I'll count the hours that you're away.
Bless you, Trish.
Well, that's our show.
It's over.
What?
It's over. It is over.
Is that it?
That's it.
Everybody still awake?
Will you come on already? I just can't stand these long goodbyes.
All right, big finish.
See you later.
This is Radio 1 with Phil Allen. Phil Allen. Spread the word.
Yeah.
And the love.
Radio